of course, as you know, requires contractors that perform work on federal or federally funded construction projects to pay a government-determined prevailing wage to on-site construction workers. I myself, I worked in the construction industry for 25 years. Very proud to have been part of an industry that creates great family-sustaining, well-paid jobs. There's a lot of opportunities there. I do know, though, that artificially setting the wages will have an impact on the cost of federal projects, and I wondered if you're aware of that.
Well, one thing I want to say about that, Congressman, is that when workers are protected, when they're paid decent wages, part of the principle, I know you know this.
So do you think without the federal government setting wages, they will not be paid decent wages?
Well, the goal of the Davis-Bacon and related acts is to ensure that federally funded construction projects don't depress local wages in the area where that work is being done. But the other point I wanted to make is that I understand there are many studies that demonstrate this, that when working people are paid prevailing wages and treated well, that it actually ends up having cost savings on a project because that's continuity.
That's not borne out by the studies. In fact, there's a nonpartisan Beacon Hill Institute estimates that Davis-Bacon methodology increases federal project costs by 7%. And I've seen that firsthand with Pennsylvania prevailing wages. I've seen the additional cost. Do you think that's fair to taxpayers at a time when construction costs are increasing dramatically due to inflation? Do you think it's fair at this time to add an additional cost to taxpayers?
Well, again, I think the reason why the laws are in place is to make sure that federally funded construction projects don't depress wages in the area, and that's policy. But I also think it's fair to make sure that doesn't happen.
So do you think the federal government should set wages in other areas as well?
Well, my role as the acting labor secretary is to enforce provisions that Congress passes. So we have a federal minimum wage. We have prevailing wages.
This update did not come from Congress. In fact, we oppose it. We sent a letter. I sent a letter with Chairwoman Fox opposing this change specifically because it will increase federal costs. So this is not Congress that has done this. This has come directly from the Biden administration.
Well, so the rule was a Department of Labor rule, but the basic principle that federally funded construction projects should be set at a prevailing wage so that it does not have a negative effect on the wages in that area is part of the Davis-Bacon and related acts of Congress.
So why should the government set construction wages but not nurses' wages, for instance?
Right. So I think that is a question for Congress. I mean, if you set nurses' wages at something, I would be enforcing those wages as well. I think. Do
you think the federal government should set wages in other sectors other than construction?
I think a basic wage floor beneath which nobody should be forced to live and work is incredibly important.
But that's not what Davis-Bacon is. This is not a minimum wage. This is literally having the federal government abandon free market principles and set wages at some level. That's what this is. This is a minimum wage. I do want a very quick question on apprenticeships as well. I know others have been talking about this. You've said you want to cooperate with states. I just want to put in the record that many states, not in a bipartisan manner, have talked about these new regulations. For instance, Michigan, this is a quote, said the new regulations and requirements will be an added formidable burden to employees. Connecticut said the rule would, quote, have a chilling effect on employers entering apprenticeships. Your home state of California said the rule does not clearly demonstrate the evidence and value of adding another component to a current CTE structure that can accomplish many of the same intents without new constricting federal rules. So I just want to express my concern, but also the concerns of many states where we will see less individuals involved in apprenticeship programs. I think you and I do agree that apprenticeships are a very great career path to a great job and to a great career. But these regulations will not help to allow more people to enter. It'll have the opposite effect. And I'm out of time. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
The representative from New Mexico, Ms. Legra Fernandez, is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you. And thank you so much,